Though you wouldn't know it from that old photo, Bette Davis is 71 and still working, and still the opinionated lady she was when she was the Empress of Hollywood. I do not regret one professional enemy I have made, says the redoubtable Miss Davis, and if you aim high, the pygmies will jump on your back and tug at your skirts. Or from this Yankee Puritan, a good percentage of our lives is spent doing things we loathe. Marvelous. It puts starch in your spine. Well, Bette Davis recently deserted the East Coast, where she had lived for many years, and moved west again to Hollywood, the scene of her old triumphs and her old battles. Among the triumphs, 2 Oscars. She had 10 Academy Award nominations. Among her battles, her famous losing fight with Warner Brothers that ended in the courts after she'd gone on strike. It was in Hollywood that we sat down with her to canvass her current views on politics and passion, men and women, money and work. We begin with a grainy glimpse of one of her first Warner Brothers pictures.
I'm giving a party too, a big one.
In 1932, Bette Davis appeared in no less than 9 films.
I want you to come and be my boyfriend.
In this one, over the strong opposition of director Michael Curtiz, who thought she was unsexy, she was cast as a conniving vixen, the role that would eventually become her trademark.
Cute. I'd like to kiss you, but I just washed my hair.
I'd love to kiss you, but I just washed my hair.
That's right.
My favorite line in any movie I ever had. Mr. Curtiz was so against my playing this kind of a part, because he said that's the unsexiest looking woman I have ever seen in my life.
Well, Mr. Curtiz was wrong.
And Mr. Barthelmess wouldn't even test with me. So I had to end up kissing the lens like this. Boy, every scene I played in that, he said, goddamn lousy actors. Goddamn, behind the camera. They never really understood that there was something very peculiar about me and that they could use it.
It may just have been that you were difficult, Betty.
No.
Not difficult, impossible.
With a stupid director. Then it was self-preservation. It was absolutely self-preservation.
Yeah, but before the director had to be the producer, had to be the choice of script, had to be. I mean, come on, you had a reputation for being a first-class, stubborn mule.
About scripts and bad directors. Those were the 2.
And apparently with good reason. This was one of the epics Warner Brothers put her in back in 1936. It was after this abomination that she left Warner's and went on strike. She simply refused to do more films like this.
Listen, I know I have no right to ask you to help me, but I might be able to pay for it.
Of course, money does make a difference.
How much?
$500 to start.
All right. Somebody robbed me.
Me? While you were in there fixing yourself all up to vamp me into helping you, I got the 500 we've been talking about.
Did you? Get going, Mr. Shane. Your taxi's ticking.
Bette Davis had trouble not just with on-screen lovers and off-screen executives. She went through tempest at home, too. Miss Davis has had 4 husbands. First, bandleader Ham Nelson. 5 years of marriage, then divorce.
Ham, of course, was just, I outgrew him.
Yes.
I got older.
Then Arthur Farnsworth, businessman. 2 years, and he died.
The lovely, lovely guy died, you know, Farney.
I know.
This would have worked. This would really have worked. He had no jealousy of me. He had a damn good job himself at Disney's. He was Yankee.
Third, William Sherry, a painter. 6 difficult years and out. Sherry beat you.
Yeah. Believe me.
Really beat you out?
I had this marvelous doctor in Laguna Beach, and after about taking care of me for 15 years or so, he said, I've got to ask you something. How could any bright woman like you marry the men you did?
And finally, Gary Merrill, 10 years, ending back in 1960 in divorce. That was her last try. Why in the world did you marry Gary Merrill? 4th time around, so you're hardly a novice. He's an actor. You shouldn't have married an actor. He's
I
an
swore
actor.
I never would. I think I decided, because I love marriage. I believe in marriage. I think a woman by herself is a perfectly asinine a way to live.
Also, you believe that in order to go to bed with a fella, you've got to marry him, or at least you believe
yes,
that.
I was brought up absolutely no hidden corners.
Were you 26 years old
When I married Ham.
and you were?
I was a virgin.
You were chaste at the time.
I was chaste.
At the age of 26.
He was a fool. I'd known him since I was 16 years old in prep school.
So if you love a fella, and you
But my mother, I blame deeply for this. See, I am so for the change in the morals today. I really am, because that is not a reason to marry.
to go to bed.
No, that is not a reason to marry. That is a ridiculous reason.
And then, in your compulsion to work, in your devotion to your career, and your mother's devotion to your career, you aborted your first child?
2.
2?
He begged me to. I did what he wanted.
This was with Nelson.
He did. My first husband, he did me a great favor, really. If I had had children that young, it's very possible I would have chosen the children to bring up. And I'm fortunate, because at this age, had I never tried to do what I wanted to do, I'd be a pretty disappointed woman.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
In All About Eve, Bette Davis played the role of the actress Margot Channing, and people who knew her thought the character struck close to home.
Funny business, a woman's career. The things you drop on your way up the ladder so you can move faster. You forget you'll need them again when you get back to being a woman. It's one career all females have in common, whether we like it or not. Being a woman. Sooner or later, we've got to work at it. No matter how many other careers we've had or wanted. And in the last analysis, nothing's any good unless you can look up just before dinner or turn around in bed and there he is. Without that, you're not a woman. You're something with a French provincial office or a book full of clippings.
But Bette Davis has more than a book full of clippings. She has 3 children. One of them, her daughter by William Sherry, Barbara Davis Hyman, known as Beattie, lives on a farm in Pennsylvania with her husband Jeremy and their 2 youngsters, Ashley and Justin. Beattie adores her mother, though she is candid about her. Was she a tough mother?
In certain ways.
What ways?
Discipline, manners. It was worth your life to forget a please or a thank you. She was always very, very concerned with Hollywood being a place, not a way of life. And she worked very hard at that. She worked very hard to have a home in Maine, which was way out in the country on the seacoast, and to bring us up in the country.
Was your mother a star at home?
No, never. Never. She was in blue jeans and work shirts, and she was a working mother when she was at home. She was in the kitchen. She was tidying up the house. She was weeding her garden, planting bulbs. She was a mother.
You're making this sound like a storybook.
No.
Well,
We
come
had our
on.
arguments. We certainly did.
You wrote, if you've never been hated by your child, you have never been a parent.
You sure haven't. You've got to be hated sometimes. I think that is another thing that is going on today. I think parents are afraid of their children. They're so overzealous about being loved every minute.
And by the same token, now, you do not use your kids as crutches for yourself.
No.
You got your life, they got theirs.
That's the hardest thing you have to learn to
Oh,
do.
boy.
I shouldn't have to tell you. Because you really, when the house is empty of children, it takes a few years.
Her adopted son, Michael Merrill, is an enterprising young attorney in Boston. When you would see, as you were growing up, as you were a youngster, and you'd see your mother up there on the screen, what was the reaction?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. It's a difficult thing to see your mother on the screen, especially in the different roles. I could say that was difficult, because in the one moment, here she is, your mother, walking around the house cooking your meals and everything, and there she is playing some glamorous lady in a movie.
George!
Fanny.
But as I grew older, you know, there's no problem. I saw it as her job and I realized how good she was at it.
And then there is Margot. Margot, your dear...
My darling Margot is still, you know, about 6 years old.
Really? And she's 20...
28.
Adopted. Tragedy?
Horrible. It was horrible. When a brain-injured child gets much, much older, it's different, fortunately. It levels off a bit, but it was terrible. My mother said, send her back. I said, would I have sent Beattie back? I made a deal. And actually, Margot's had a great life due to the fact I could afford to have her in a beautiful school.
Mm-hmm. You see her?
Oh, yes. I've for 20-some years, she spent every summer with me and every Christmas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are your vices?
Always blaming myself for anything that happens. Terrific guilt. Terrific guilt. Terrible.
Puritan New England.
Mm-hmm.
But also, your lack of vanity, your honesty, permits you to play, don't get angry, frumps.
Yeah, I'll play anything. But you see, that was my basic theory about acting, that the appearance should not be the reason you choose a part. The only time my daughter ever said to me, Mother, you have finally gone too far, was in Jane.
Whatever happened to Baby Jane? Why? Do you need the money, or do you need the work, or do you need...
I need the work.
You really said, Betty, it has been my experience that one cannot, in any shape or form, depend on human relations for any lasting reward. It is only work that truly satisfies.
Yes, that stands by you. It isn't that many people don't add a great deal to your life. But I'm talking about as a permanent thing. That's the least disappointing relationship you can have.
His work. An old friend of Davis from New York and Hollywood both was the late Joan Blondell, who lived in Santa Monica. They used to work together. She's 71. Why do you think that she came back here, this Maine girl, this New England Puritan, to Lotus Land at the age of 71?
I think that when you crash into the 70s, boy, you better do something exciting. Whatever's left, you know, and that's left to come here, and I think it was a good idea for her to do. Action and work comes from here, and I think it'll open up a whole new career for her now.
Was she always ambitious, driving?
Nothing stopped her, and yet there was a soft quality about her that I love. You know who's meant a great deal to Betty and was her mother, Ruthie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, one day we went to the funeral of Ori Kelly, who designed all the lovely clothes for us. Mm-hmm. And the crowds were waiting outside the church, and Betty came over to me and took my hand and led me way aside, and she said, look up there at that knoll. Do you see that white headstone? And I said, yes. She said, that's Ruthie. And next to her, the place is all paid for, is where I go, next to Ruthie.
Betty Davis, a practical New Englander, has indeed made all preparations. We've visited the cemetery, a part of Forest Lawn that overlooks the Disney studios and the old Warner Brothers back lot.
I just am glad that it'll be simple. I'll be very near. That's one reason I moved to California. I wouldn't have to take that long trip across the country with me. Here you are, Ruthie, darling. It's Mother's Day. You know what I'm going to have on my tombstone? She did it the hard way.
Betty Davis recorded this song in 1976.
Growing older, feeling younger. What can we do? Time is so fleeting. April fools us. Winter rules us. Autumn and spring, they have no meaning.